Most people are not going to stop and read a headline about agriculture. I get it. When you're thinking about moving to Belize, you're probably focused on the obvious stuff. Where should I live? How much will it cost? Is healthcare good enough? Will I feel safe? Can I get decent internet without wanting to throw my router into the Caribbean Sea? All fair questions. But every now and then one of those boring headlines tells you more about Belize's future than another beach video ever could. And this week, 2 agriculture stories out of Belize caught my attention. One talked about Belize being positioned as a regional leader in food security. The other focused on youth, innovation, technology, and climate resilience as the future of agriculture in the Caribbean. Food security sounds technical, but it touches daily life. It affects what shows up in the market, and it affects how much Belize depends on imported goods. It affects how stable food prices may feel over time. And it affects how communities handle things like storms, droughts, flooding, or global supply problems. So when Belize gets recognized as an agricultural powerhouse in the region, that's not just a nice compliment. It tells you something deeper. A country that can feed more of itself has a different kind of stability. Not perfect stability. Belize still has challenges. Let's not pretend otherwise. But it's a stronger foundation than depending heavily on imported food and hoping global supply chains behave themselves. And lately, global supply chains have been acting like a toddler who skipped a nap. A lot of expats look at Belize through a tourism lens. Beaches, islands, diving, golf carts, rum punch. And listen, that's part of Belize. I'm not here to disrespect a good beach day, but that's not the whole country. These agriculture updates show another side of Belize. They show a country positioning itself as part of the Caribbean's food solution. It means Belize could attract more investment into production and infrastructure. It means inland communities may become more important over time. And it means young people and technology may shape the next chapter. That last part is important. Belize agriculture is not just plant more crops and hope for rain. The conversation is moving toward modernization. That's the kind of signal long-term expats should notice. You don't dream about retiring abroad because you want to study agricultural policy. You dream about warm mornings, fresh fruit, slower days, and never needing a snow shovel again. But lifestyle without stability can get thin pretty fast. And yes, the beach is beautiful, but beachfront living often comes with higher costs, more imported goods, and more dependence on outside supply chains. Some people ignore inland Belize. Places like Caye, Corozal, and Toledo may not have the glossy postcard appeal of the islands or beach villages, but they often have stronger connections to local food, land, markets, and practical daily living. So these agriculture stories are useful because they remind us of something simple. The strongest long-term move may not always be the prettiest one. Sometimes it's the place with better access, better community, better local supply, and fewer fragile dependencies. Let me pause here for a second. If you're seriously thinking about Belize, this is exactly the kind of thing I break down through the Retire in Belize Hub email list. Just go to retireinbelizehub.com and I'll leave a link in the description of this video. Not hype, just practical, grounded insight so you can see the bigger picture before you make a big decision. So if you're not on the list yet, that's a good place to start. Now here's the practical takeaway. If you're exploring Belize, start asking better questions. How close is this area to local markets? Is the community dependent mostly on tourism, imports, or both? What happens during bad weather? Are there farms, younger workers, small businesses, and services nearby? Is this location built for daily life, or does it mainly work as a vacation setting? That's adult planning with a passport, and it can save you from choosing a place that looks perfect for 1 week but feels frustrating after 6 months. These agriculture updates also make inland Belize worth a harder look. Places connected to farming, markets, road access, and cross-border movement may become more attractive over time. That doesn't mean everyone should move inland. For long-term living, pretty is only one piece. You also want reliable access to food. Reasonable costs, community depth, practical transportation, healthcare planning, and some awareness of how climate affects the area. Belize's food security push is a reminder that the country's strength is not only in its coastline. A lot of the future may be growing inland. Literally, most people choose Belize based on how it feels. You should enjoy the place you live. But the smarter move is choosing Belize based on how it functions too. Food security, agriculture, youth, technology, and climate resilience may not sound flashy, but they tell you something important. They tell you where stability may be forming. And if you're thinking about Belize for the long run, stability matters just as much as scenery.